Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everyone.
Is something playing?
Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I forgot to turn down my phone.
Come on, man. We live. How you gonna forget to turn
Oh,
down
I
your
forgot.
phone?
I
Come
forgot.
on. Hello,
I'm
everybody.
sorry.
Welcome again to the Goddard's, talking real, talking live, talking raw.
The God is real and world.
Okay, the Goddard's. I forgot how to say it, so I just said it that way. Okay, I'm gonna say it the way I feel to say
Okay.
it. Just wanted to say thank you, everybody, for joining us again. Waiting
Thank you
for
for
some
coming.
people to join. Um, just wanted to
Waiting for some people to come
wait for a
in.
couple of seconds, a couple of minutes. How's everybody doing? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Yeah.
Welcome, welcome, welcome on YouTube
Yeah, we're on YouTube
and
now.
welcome on Facebook.
Yes. On Tower Songbird Journey or Goddard? Tower Song. I don't even know your Facebook page is.
Tara Thunberg got it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, there you go. And the Goddard's Ministry.
Yeah, the Goddess
The Goddard's
Ministry.
Ministry is on YouTube. You can watch us on YouTube or you can watch us on Facebook.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Two different platforms. Both will be live.
That's right.
So you can comment, talk, ask questions,
That's
or
right.
just enjoy
Just enjoy.
and hope that you're blessed.
Hope that you're blessed.
My name is Pedro,
My name is Tara.
and we're the Goddard's. And still waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's see.
I guess people busy today.
Bit busy today. They said no, we ain't coming on.
We ain't coming today.
That's fine. That's fine. We're gonna start in a few minutes with just like I said, waiting. Hope everybody, like I said, had a good week. And as we go into the new week, hope everybody's week is gonna be good
That's right.
and blessed and plentiful. And we've had a long week, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah. I've been all over the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Been to London,
What,
Suffolk,
what, Liverpool too?
Liverpool,
Yeah.
and somewhere else I went. I don't even know the other place I went. I went somewhere near Liverpool.
Right.
Blackpool, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I just went somewhere, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the job does, though. But hey, I am enjoying it so far. And then, what else? That's about it. Well, I guess we're going to get started. You want to pray?
Yeah, we can pray.
All right.
All right, let's go.
All right. Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us to another weekend safe and sound, allowing us to rest. And as we go into this ministry that you have blessed us with, we ask the God that you will maybe bless somebody or help somebody as we talk about real things and talk about things that are relevant to lives of married couples and singles and just relationships in general. Bless us and be with us. For this I pray in your holy name. Amen.
Amen.
So I've been trying to think about how we're going to start this all week. I don't know how. You put our testimony.
Hmm.
So is it our testimony in the sense of it is our testimony?
Yeah.
You said part one, right? So I guess
Part
this is going to be a
one.
part two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully.
All right. Uh,
God willing.
God willing. All right. So let's see. Um, let's see. I'm trying to think. Well, we pretty much start with our testimony of how our testimony we met in 2005,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Met because of my niece, Ashley,
Mm-hmm.
who you came with her so she can get some money from me that I owed her, and we met.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew right then and there you was gonna be my wife.
Wow.
Yeah, I knew right then and there. You didn't know that though. You fought me hard, boy.
I did.
Shucks. Yeah.
I did.
And we actually will be what you call it again? Celebrating in the next week. Next weekend, right? Is it next weekend?
On
It is next
October,
weekend.
on October 3rd?
Yeah, next weekend.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. It's coming fast.
16 years next weekend.
Wow.
16 years of marriage.
Wow.
Ups,
Wow.
downs, lows, highs,
Mm,
happiness, sadness,
definitely.
despair.
Yeah.
But it's been a good run so far.
Yeah.
We got a long way to go
Mm-hmm.
and many, many more.
But God is good.
Yes, God is good. As long as you don't get on my nerves.
Yeah.
No, you said yeah.
I don't try to do too
What?
much.
Yeah, you do.
I
Oh,
promise you I
please.
don't.
You do
I
try.
promise you I don't try to do too much.
Whatever.
I
You
really, really,
try.
really, really don't.
So we're just going to get right into it. So we met in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
And then about 2007, I think my Aunt Kim died,
Yeah.
passed away. And throughout our first couple of years of our marriage was a little rough. It was very rough because you was young and you wanted certain things and you didn't understand certain things. And I wanted to go back to be with my kids.
Yeah.
That was in New York.
Right.
And I asked you to come with me. You didn't want to come at first, so you stayed behind. And I left only because of my Aunt Kim passing. So then you came up to New York, and we was in New York, and things was all right. You was working, I was working.
Right.
The only problem was that I've been married twice before, so I've been divorced twice.
Yeah.
It was my third marriage.
Yeah.
And my second marriage had really took a toll on me in the sense of mentally, physically, spiritually, and every aspect of my life.
Right.
It made me very I won't say angry, but it just put me in a really nasty place at some points.
Right.
And I think it kind of filtered over into our relationship.
Yeah. It did.
Then when it carried over into our relationship, even though I didn't want to bring baggage, I brought baggage with us.
Right.
You didn't really have any baggage because you had never been really in a serious relationship
Yeah.
or marriage before.
Right.
I brought kids and myself and everything else that came with it.
Yeah.
Shoot up to 2000. Well, actually, no. Let me actually go backwards. I'm originally from Bermuda. Grew up
Yeah.
in New York.
Mm-hmm.
I left Bermuda in '83 and arrived in New York.
And wait a minute, I'm from Birmingham, Alabama,
Yes, you're from Birmingham, Alabama,
in the South.
in the South. I'm sorry, my apologies. And growing up, I was growing up with a single mom and myself and my aunties and my grandmother.
Yeah.
And then my mother met my father, who she married when I was about 14. And it was good. He was a pastor. My mother was a Bible worker. So I'm a pastor kid.
Yeah.
They know what they say about pastor kids. It's not always true. We're not all bad.
No.
We just have some issues.
Hey, you normal just like everybody else.
That's right. Then we went to, as I got older in my teenage years, I got into a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
Down on Nathan's Boulevard, Nathan's in Coney Island.
Right.
That caused me to have a record. In doing so, I made a promise that I was going to do better with myself because I had just been married, and I had Bryce.
Right.
Bryce was a baby. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think so, because it was I don't remember what year it was. I think I just turned. Actually, no, I just turned 18.
Right.
So no, Bryce wasn't there yet, but I was dating somebody that I was going to marry.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. He wasn't there yet. So that's the reason why I bring this up is for the rest of the story.
Right.
So this situation causes me to have an issue with the law.
Yeah.
So fast forward, I don't get any more trouble. I go get my nursing assistant license, phlebotomy license, EKG license,
Right.
and I move on and I start working and doing a thing. Go through the first marriage, divorce, second marriage, divorce, and now here I meet you and we get married.
Yeah.
Then we moved to New York in 2007.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was 2007, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then your father passes,
Yeah.
and then you come back, and then we go out on. We actually right around this time we are out.
Sure is.
We are out celebrating our anniversary,
Yeah.
and that's when you became real sick. I think we went to Dallas BBQs or something. I can't remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got real sick, and we was wondering why were you sick. We
Yeah.
went through the rest of the day, did our thing,
Yeah.
do sightseeing and stuff, and then the next morning you woke up and you took a pregnancy test and you found out you was pregnant with
With
Pedro.
Pedro, yeah.
Yeah. And got mad at me because when you came in the room and said, I'm pregnant, I said, okay, and turned over and back to sleep.
I was like, really?
Hey, I was
This is,
tired.
I guess, because it was my first baby, my
Yeah,
first
I was just
pregnancy.
like,
I was just,
I had a
overjoyed.
feeling though in a way, so I was like,
I was overjoyed.
it didn't shock me.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, cool, okay. So
Well, we didn't confirm it until we went
to the
got the
doctor.
blood test done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we did that and everything, and then we Pedro was born in 2008,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, June. Yeah.
Right. Now during this time we was having some issues in our marriage.
Right.
There was a lot of back and forth. You going back home, coming back to New York, going back home, going back to New York. We spent a lot of money during that time.
We
Sheesh.
did. We did.
We could have a house with that money right now.
I'm telling you.
Man, shock. Anyway, here on now, what if, it's all the past.
Right.
Leave it in the past.
Right.
So, shoot to 2009, I'm at work, and I get off early. Never get off early. Never, ever. And was you even in here at that time?
No, I
can't-
think
No,
I was
you was away.
right,
Yeah, you
I
had
was
left.
away.
Yeah, you had
Yeah.
left.
I
Right,
haven't
you had
been gone
left.
that long.
You had left because we was actually moving to Alabama.
Yeah. We
Right.
was going to to
Right.
try to set things up in it.
We had already set things up. We had got a place and everything.
Right.
And then came home early one day, and because, like I said, I was in such a dark place and a bad place,
Right.
I got into an argument with a girl,
Yeah.
young girl. I want to think it was a young lady.
She was a
And-
teenager, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
knew her since she was a baby,
Right.
but I got into an argument,
Yeah.
and one thing led to another. I didn't harm her or anything, just an argument.
Right.
But I did scare her. As I look back on it and think about it, I can see that I did scare her.
Yeah.
So the mother or the parents pressed charges on me, and I got locked up.
Right.
Got released, I think, the next day. Thing did nothing of it. The charges that they had for me, I can't remember what the charges was, but it was real minor charges because I didn't do no harm, no bodily harm or nothing.
Right.
And then they gave me a court date, and I went for the court date. And when I went for the court date, the prosecutor changed the charges to some crazy stuff. I was
Something
like,
else.
What? Yeah, it was like, what? I didn't do it. What? So I had to get a lawyer. Went to the lawyer, and the lawyer, everything. We went through the court process.
Yeah.
And then you had came back by then.
Yeah. Did I?
Yeah, you had came back because we didn't leave yet.
Okay.
You was just away when this happened.
Okay.
Then you did come back because then we went down, dropped you off.
Oh,
and
right.
everything.
That's right. I totally forgot about that
Right.
part. I think it's a
And-
mental block.
Yeah, and then you came back, and then I took you back down to Alabama, and the deal was I was gonna take you to Alabama. I came up to New York because I was supposed to go do a job in Las Vegas
Right.
because I was driving trucks, and March 2nd was March 9th that I went to court. March 2nd was my birthday.
Wow.
And-
All this happened around that time.
Yeah. And so I remember spent the evening with my cousin. We was talking to about 3-4 in the morning
Right.
outside just chilling. And then I went to court, and come to find out that because I'm a alien, I was an alien, legal alien. I was legal. I had a green card.
Yeah, you
I
had a
was not
green. You had a
illegal.
permanent green card.
Yep, I had a permanent green card.
Mm-hmm.
But I should have known things were different when they changed my license to foreign national.
Oh wow.
Remember when they changed my CDL license to a foreign national
Yeah,
license?
We didn't even pay no attention.
Yeah, it was
Really?
FLFN something. Yeah,
Right.
foreign national license, something like that. Whatever.
Right.
So I went to court, and the lawyer was like, "Hey, you know what? We need to just let him go. He's going back to Alabama. He's not going to be in the state of New York. Let's just dismiss this and be done."
Right.
The prosecutor said, "No, we got to give him some time." Because as it turned out, immigration.
Oh, that's probably why they said what they
No,
said.
they did. I'm telling you, the reason why he did that is because immigration, at the time and probably still now, what they do is if you go to court and you're an alien or if there's any question, the moment you plead guilty, put it this way: if I pleaded not guilty, I would have had another court date. I probably would have been found not guilty, and then I would have been released. But I pleaded guilty because I was like, just do 3 days and then you'll be done. I said,
Right.
I could do 3 days, no problem, cool. Well, that just started the whole thing. So 3 days, first day I'm in jail, I get they call my name, you got a visitor. Go upstairs, there's ICE agent saying all this stupidness about I came on a boat, came over the thing, and I'm like, dude, you don't even know you don't know what you're talking
Right.
about.
The minute they say you, they think you
I'm
from.
like, I got a green
Right.
card, I'm legal, blah blah blah, and he's just like, what? So he's trying to. I said, you know what? Before I get mad and hit you, I'm just gonna leave. So I leave, call my father. My father comes to visit me. Turns out that because I pleaded guilty, I'm now in the system. So I do 3 days in county lockup, and then after the 3 days, which is so funny because they walk you out like you're leaving, and as you're about to leave out the free door, they turn you right and say you gotta go back in the cell. So I had to go back in the cell, wait
Wow.
for immigration.
Wow. Wow.
That
Wow.
was probably the worst time of my life. Gave me time to reflect though, but probably the worst time of my life because you sit in the cell for like half a day. Then
Wow.
they threw me in the back of a truck, and then I was in a truck. Then had no place to put us. I went to one jail. They said because I didn't have my PPP certificate or something to show that I had PPD, or that shot that they give you, the tuberculosis shot,
Oh, the super
TB
locust.
shot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
they took me to another jail, so it ended up in Hudson Correction Facility.
Right.
So while in Hudson Correction Facility, I was able to understand and process everything that was going on in my life, and big ups to my mom and my father at the
Yeah.
time, because
Yeah.
they really supported us and allowed you to have also the Toby,
Yeah.
because they all financially helped us immensely during that time
Yes.
with bills and paying the rent on time and the car and everything like that,
Right.
and the phone so that I can call you.
But everything just happened so fast.
Yeah, it did happen fast. So I'm in jail from 2009 of March to July 2nd. And during that time, I started reading the Bible more. It's amazing how, we as people, we don't, we forget God sometimes when we get so busy.
Yeah.
But when we're down in the hole, all of a sudden we remember him.
Mm.
And we
That
start,
happens to a lot of us.
it happens to a lot of us, yeah. My mom actually sent me some Bibles and books and stuff, and I was able to distribute it throughout the prison, and which is weird because they used to call me the preacher, which I'm not.
They gave you a
And
nickname.
they gave me a nickname, yeah. And then, so I did all that and everything like that, and then, like I said, it's just amazing how we turn away from God so easily when we get busy. But then as time goes on, we realize that our lives were we're only there because of him.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized that I'm only there because of him.
Right.
During that time, you and I disagree on this. During that time, that's when you found out about the Sabbath. Because I remember the call in prison, which you say didn't happen then, but I remember it happened in
It
prison.
probably did. I got so much
Yeah,
mental
you
block
got so
going
much
on.
mental block going on. But I remember I remember calling you, and you was like, "You won't believe what happened." And I'm like, "What? I've been reading it the wrong way, and I didn't about the Sabbath, and I can't believe I've been doing this wrong all this time." And
Right.
so that was the start of that.
Mm.
So it's ironic because I think me being locked up allowed us both to mentally better ourselves with God and spiritually,
Yeah.
because we was both reading the Bible. We couldn't do it together all the time
Yeah.
because we was apart, but we was doing it separately, but we was doing it more diligent than we ever had at that time during our marriage.
Right.
And then finally I said, okay, just let me go back home. So July 4th, I actually returned back to Bermuda. I was supposed to return back 2 weeks before, but they misplaced my money and I missed my flight. So I had to go back to prison for 2 weeks. That was not easy because
And it was
when
hard because I
you're
was like,
free,
what?
when you think that you're gonna be free and back and out and about, and then you got to go back in prison for 2 weeks. You're like, what? So I was not happy at all.
Right.
But that's fine. That's
Right.
just life. It made me. It just realized that it wasn't time yet for it to be the case.
Right.
It actually turned out to be good. So then, big up to my sister and Damien. They then assisted me,
Right.
and when I came to Bermuda by letting me live with them, and because of Damien, he helped me get my CV together, and I was able to get a job actually with my sister's stepfather,
Right.
who at the time was building a patio. He was a builder. That was some of the hardest work I ever done in my life in the hot sun. We did that, and then you came in August.
Right. I was just so shocked that you had been deported.
Yeah.
It was like,
I was so shocked that you came.
because I had to make some real, decisions. Like, am I going to, pick up and go where you are? But I knew I loved you.
Yeah, I knew. I said to myself, you know what? I think I don't even know if she's gonna. I don't even know if she's gonna come. But you know what? We're gonna see what happens. So
Yeah, we're gonna ride it out.
we're gonna ride it out.
But I had some
So,
serious
yours was-
praying I had to do
yeah.
though. I was like,
We had some serious. We prayed a lot too.
yeah, we did.
Yeah. So then you came to Bermuda, and it's funny because you came to Bermuda, and all the stuff we talked about in prison kind of went to the wayside, and we kind of went back for a minute, back into our old ways.
Right.
We went back. Not that we necessarily forgot about God, but just a lot of anger. I think he was a little mad at me for being deported.
I was. I think I really was. 'Cause I was
Yeah.
like, why we got to be in this situation? Why life got to change so drastically? Because
Yeah, because you're not a changer.
right, which I talked about in our last show. I'm not the type of person that'll just get up and just be like, okay, let's go. I was. With you being deported was a real deal. You have to transition yourself to being in a whole nother country, no less. And I never been in another country like that, so I already was struggling being in another state, let alone then have to go into New York, and then boom, went back to Alabama, and then all of us then had to make a decision to go to Bermuda. That was hard.
I understand. And I think that's why I was always patient with you on that.
Yeah.
And that's why I sent you back home many, many times.
Yeah.
Even more than when he was in Bermuda.
I think the plane knew who I was.
They definitely knew who you was.
Yeah.
If they had the same flight attendants, definitely.
Yeah.
So we moved to Bermuda, and as we talked about in our communication part last week, we still had our marital issues. We were still going through some things, but luckily through the grace of God and the fact that he had our back, and he was always in the forefront, even when we did not always
See him there.
or put him there.
Right.
He was still there,
Mm-hmm.
working with us. We got help, and we start to heal ourselves, heal thyself through God.
Yeah.
And then we went to what happened?
After we had been
Oh,
in
then you
Bermuda for a
started.
while.
I got you started singing with the church choir, stuff which you hated me for, but then you saw the opportunities it was giving you to sing and stuff, so you started to sing and with Somerset Praise Team, and
Yeah.
and that was some of the best times of your life.
Yeah.
And then you'd be on
Yeah.
you guys used to be on ATV all the time. They used to love you on ATV
Yeah.
on the Bermuda Christian Network in Bermuda.
Yeah.
They used to put you guys on all the time.
Yeah.
And then we started living in Bermuda. But the problem with Bermuda, I love Bermuda and everything, it was so expensive
And small.
and small. But the small part wasn't that bad.
I'm talking about for me, coming
For you,
from
yeah.
the U.S.
It wasn't so bad. I came from New York. I grew up in New York.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying.
I was not a true Bermudian. I'm Bermudian in heart, but
Right.
not in growing up,
Right.
and yeah, it was a little difficult too sometimes, but I adjust easier because I could just go sit off and meditate or sit off and chill, and I'm good.
Right.
You needed something to do, and things closing at 8:00 at night, and there's nothing else to do but go to the club or go to the movie. Not even go. Well, you can go to the movies.
Right.
It's not much life in that.
Mm.
So it made us spend a lot of time together.
Right. Get to know each other more.
Yeah, which was a good thing and a bad thing, because then we started to learn each other more. But we still had our issues. We still had our marital issues and stuff.
Right.
Because I was still in that bad place.
Right.
I never left that bad place.
You was an angry person back then.
Even after what happened with the young lady, I was still in a nasty place. I was still in an argumentative phase. I was still in a yelling phase. I was still in a phase that was not good.
Right.
That's for another story.
Mm.
So we then went on, and then I think right when we started to not even heal ourselves, as we started to work on ourselves
Yeah, I would say
with
that.
God, you wanted to go back because you were so frustrated that you couldn't work. Yeah, got your visa, but you couldn't find work. So he's like,
But it wasn't until later. That wasn't until later.
yeah, but but what in the middle was really not really
Not
much
really.
happening, but just us living in Bermuda. We had Sky, then we had Kaya,
Yeah.
and we were staying in different places.
Yeah.
And then then you decided that you wanted to go back to New York. Go back to Alabama.
I'm about to say it's definitely one New York.
Yeah, that's true. You wasn't going back to New York. Nah, you didn't like New York.
Mm-hmm.
You like it now, but not then.
Yeah.
And we went to, you wanted to go back to Alabama, so we set it up. You went back to Alabama. And then that's where I went into probably another deep despair. That's where we talked about communication. That's where we communicated, but we didn't communicate everything.
No, we didn't.
No.
We was
Well, at least
like,
I didn't.
Right. Well, yeah.
You was communicating a little bit better, but I definitely was still not communicating as much.
Right.
I'll communicate what I thought you wanted to hear, or what you needed to hear, not what I should be telling you.
Or not what was really going on.
Right.
Yeah.
So then I what did I do? Oh yeah. So I got a job that I always wanted to do. The job was with the public bus company, driving the bus all over Bermuda. One job that I did love. I love doing that job, but one thing I found that is so mundane, or whatever you want to call it, that it was
it was so
repetitive.
much the same thing all the time.
Yeah, it was so repetitive.
Yeah.
It was driving me a little crazy, but that's not no excuse. So with all the different bills, all the different things that happened with us and everything, and we were still going through our changes in our lives and changes in our marriage. And by this time now, this is 2000 and
What year was it?
16? Yeah, 2016. Yeah, so we're talking, now here we are 10 years into our marriage.
Because Kaya was 2.
Yeah, we're talking about 10 years into our marriage.
Yeah.
And we're still in our marriage. You know, they say 7 years and then things are supposed to get better. That's not always true. It was better, but we still had our issues.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, let me go back, because part of my testimony is, you would think I would learn something. A couple of years before this, I was working in a gas station, and my son was 5.
Who, Pedro?
Yeah, he was 5. So
Yeah.
2008, 2013, 2014. No, he was 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
But 2013, I was on a bike riding back to BI, which is Bermuda Institute, to see my son do a Christmas program. And a person drove their car out into the road and froze, and I ended up hitting a car head on with my bike and my head and my whole body. And I broke my first rib, a couple of ribs, and my clavicle bone. Not my clavicle.
Your
my
collarbone?
pelvic. My wrist, my ribs, and my pelvic.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when I did that put me down for a minute, and I thought I was gonna die. It's amazing when you have a life death situation.
Right.
How much stuff can just flood through your head, because at the time Kaya was about to be born. You was pregnant with Kaya. So Kaya, yeah, it's 2013. No, it's 2014, because Kaya was about to have her.
Yeah.
Kaya was born in July, right?
Yeah.
So if she was born in July, this was early July. early 2004. Yeah, that December, because it was a Christmas program.
Yeah.
Right. So you was pregnant with Kaya.
Yeah.
And
Boy, it was stressful.
yeah, it was. And I remember Sky walking into the ER room and screaming out loud, "My daddy's dead!" But Yeah, because I was laying so still. She thought I was
Yeah,
dead
because
and
when we walked in, they was actually willing you to the X-ray. I think.
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was in so much pain I can't remember.
yeah. All I know,
Yeah.
you was laying
All
there.
I know is that was one of the hardest things ever
Right.
because I had to get in that machine with broken bones and they didn't give me no pain. The pain medication, I have a high threshold for pain, so the pain medication was not working and I was in some serious pain.
Mm.
But yeah, so we did all that and God spared my life when maybe I shouldn't have been spared, but I was spared because God saw fit for me to be spared.
God have a
So
plan for all of us.
yeah, I know. I'm just saying, you always wonder, but God had a plan for me. So I was like, okay, cool. Thank you, Lord, for sparing my life.
Right.
I really don't even talk about it that often or
Yeah.
anything.
But
Kind
I
of gets,
definitely
because I
remember it.
almost forgot to even bring it up.
Yeah.
So that goes on. And here we are back, and I'm working for the bus company. Life is all right. I mean, I'm working hard, but it's stressful.
Was you working at the doctor's office before then?
The doctor's office was, yeah.
Yeah.
This is after the doctor's office.
Yeah.
And then, and the water truck company
Yep.
too, yeah.
Yeah.
Then I started working for the bus. So I was working for the bus, and I did the bus. And during my time in the bus, things happened that were not to my favor. And it was a lot of, I won't say stress. And people ask me all the time why this happened. And I can't even honestly say why. It just happened. That's all I can say. It just happened. We
I had moved back to Alabama.
Yeah, moved back to Alabama.
Right.
And
To Huntsville.
it was a lot of stress to provide for you and the kids, make sure you had what you needed and make sure I had what I needed. And one
I was
day,
trying to look for a job while I was there.
yeah, which wasn't going to happen because there was no way you're going to be able to do it having the kids, which we already had the discussion.
Yeah.
And then while I was working for the bus, I found a way to steal money from the bus. So here I am stealing money from the bus. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months go by. And then one day I get on the bus and I'm on my way down the road and they're like, Pedro, we need you to come into the office right away. When you get to Hamilton, somebody be there to pick you up. And I knew that they had caught me. Because, the bus had cameras.
How did that make you feel?
I don't know.
Was you nervous like?
I don't know. No. I don't know if I was nervous or more just upset. I was more like thinking, how can I get away? Do I really have to go to the main terminal? Like, maybe I could get off the bus and just run. But, it's Bermuda. Where am I running to? So I was just like, hey.
To the water.
Yeah, to the water. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so I go to the bus. They bring me in. They ask me, they say, we got you on camera. I say, yeah, I did so. I've been doing it for about 3-4 months. And they say, okay, well, you're going to have to, we're calling the cops and they're going to come arrest you and take you down. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I said, well, look, let me just make a phone call, tell my wife. So I called you up, told you was not too happy. You was more concerned for my well-being than anything.
Only because
you wasn't even upset. You was more,
only because I had just came to see you.
Yes,
for
that's
like
true.
2 weeks, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we had talked, and I asked you how everything
Again? Wait, maybe you need to stop doing stuff on the anniversary. You came for an anniversary.
Yeah, and I was
gotta
like,
think about it because it happened in November. So October, yeah, you had just came for anniversary.
Yeah.
So you came for the first 2 weeks of our anniversary because we're married from October 3rd. You left about October 10th or 15th or something like that.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks later, boom, this happened. So like a month later.
Yeah.
So you had just been there from celebrating our anniversary.
Right. So I'm like, I had been asking you the whole time I was there, how's everything? We had went out, we went to church and just,
Everything, yeah.
different things. And I never picked up that it was something going on.
Yeah.
Or that you was, going through something because you just didn't express that to me. You didn't share, even though I asked you.
Yeah.
And I think I felt like when I got the call, I was more, because it was just like, how could have prevented it from happening if he would have just, if Pedro would have just talked to me and said, babe, look, this is what I've been doing. And I could have been like, Pedro, this is not what you should be doing. You need to stop. Like, stop now before you even get to the point of you getting caught or, getting put in jail or anything. Just, think about the future. So many things could have been said and done that could have been prevented, that you didn't give me that opportunity to help you.
Yeah.
You pretty much just shut me down, and you hid it from me. And you were so good at it, to the fact that I didn't even pick up on that it was something going on with you.
That's true. That is so true.
And I was like, well, dang, do I know my husband at all?
Yeah, you knew me.
I really felt like I didn't know you at all, because we've been together all this time, and I still can't pick up on when something is, going on that I could have helped you with. You know?
I didn't think I wanted to stop, so that's why I didn't tell you.
And that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like it could have been something I could have done to get you on the straight path. To be like, Pedro, look, you got to stop this. And if it's something that I need to do to prevent this from happening, I would do it. But it can't be this. It can't be what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I got kind of angry. Honestly, I really did. I was so mad. I was like, he's not even thinking about me, the kids. I felt like we already had been through enough. Now we got something else added on to it. Like, I felt like it was so unnecessary.
Yeah.
But when I got the phone call from the lady from Bermuda that had reached out to me was she from the court or whatever? But she reached out from me from the court in Bermuda.
Actually, I had ran into somebody I knew from church. I was a police officer at the time. He retired since then, or resigned.
Right.
I think he's fitness, but I reached out to him. I saw him and I said, "Hey, here's my wife's number. Please call and tell her."
And he did call me.
I know.
He called me and he told me. But I'm saying, it was another lady that talked to me when you was going to be doing your court time. She had called and spoke to me and asked me about your background and, about you. And I told her, as far as I know, my husband wasn't a type of person that'll steal from anyone. I said, I know we had some financial issues or whatever, but it wasn't to the fact that he had to take from something or from where he was employed. And I told her I apologized to her and I said, look, I'm sorry. And I know my husband is, we get caught up into situations sometimes where when you feel like, oh, I'm not going to get caught, you keep doing it. And then there's just like a child going to keep doing something until you find out, look, don't be doing, or don't pick that up or don't do that. So it's kind of like, that's what you kept doing. And I told her, I said, that's not my husband. That's not the type of person he is. And then I said, if he was stressed about something, he definitely hid it from me. Mm-hmm. Because he didn't communicate that with me. That's why our communication was broken, because you just didn't talk to me.
Yeah. I know. And then it all kind of came to the forefront. And then next thing you know, everything's just blowing up in my face.
And you know what? And this is my opinion. I felt like God was like, look, if you're not going to tell nobody what you're struggling with right now, then I'm going to have to expose you. He was I feel like God was probably at some point trying to, save you in silence, but you just didn't listen. I know you felt like you had warnings, didn't you?
Yeah, I definitely had warnings. There was other things that happened that had given me warnings. And I just, it was definitely other things that gave me warnings and stuff, but I just was listening to those warnings and I just kept on doing what I was doing. And,
so when everything hit the fan, I was like, my goodness, like, why right now? And I'm away. I'm not even in Bermuda right now to be with him, to, just to be there. Because regardless of how it looked to other people, that was still my husband. And I loved him. And we all make mistakes. We all do things that we shouldn't do. Sometimes we do things that people wouldn't even think that we would do. But you don't know what you would do until you're in a situation. And I just felt like I needed to be there. And I wasn't able to be there for you. I wasn't able to just, even though everything had happened, to just stand by your side even through that time. Because, when marriage stay through better, through worse.
Yep.
And I felt like at that time,
I was making it hard for you to do that, wasn't I?
I felt like the worst was like, geez, how are we going to get through this? How are we going to get past this? Because I felt like Bermuda was so small. Everybody was going to know.
Oh, they put it in the newspaper.
And it ain't even that I was worried about what people thought. It was the fact of like, I felt like they made an example out of him by putting it in there. And it wasn't like it was a...
No, they put everybody in the newspaper. They didn't make no example.
Right, but no, I'm just saying, well, Bermuda put everything in the paper because
No,
it's
they
small.
didn't make no example of me. I did the crime. I had to do the time.
Right.
It wasn't about them making an example. They put everybody in the newspaper, so it was, they don't put everybody, you got a little clout. They made that, but they put me in the newspaper, so it was that. And then that's when everything kind of hit
I
the
know
fan.
one thing, we found out who our true friends was.
That definitely hit the
in
fan
Bermuda.
because I got dropped right away from a job, and
I was like, what are we going to do?
well, it was not that he didn't want he didn't want to give me a second chance. It was just that the perception. So he was like, he can't have me employed for him. So I lost that job.
What was the job?
I'd rather not say.
Okay.
But it was a phlebotomist job. I was a phlebotomist for the job.
Right.
It was in the doctor's office. So then, which I understand I understand his point because he has a business and he needs to run it to an efficiency. And what I understand.
What I didn't like about him is that, and I'm not calling no names.
Excuse me, but it's not about he didn't do nothing wrong. Number one.
No, he's okay.
Let me finish. He didn't do nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's what I learned after the time happened and everything is that I could see the difference of how people looked at me. A lot of people, I had a lot of good friends that still was just like, Peter, you made a mistake. We're here to support you. But I had a lot of people that, was like, they kind of distanced themselves from me because of that.
Away.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's because I don't know, people, we as people, we sometimes...
they don't have compassion.
No, it's not compassion, Tar. It's not even that. I think
about how God looks at us when we make mistakes. He don't then shun us.
But people have a tendency sometimes to not want to deal with the back. Okay, even case in point, what did our daughter just tell us the other day? She had a friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the friend came to her just this Friday and said to her that she wants to be her friend, but she has to be a friend in secret. Why? Because the friends that she's developed at the school don't like Sky for whatever reason. Right. So she didn't want to be bullied by these girls who's supposed to be her friends. Mm-hmm. So she said, I can't be your friend anymore. We get to be, and Sky, what does Sky say? We can't be friends anymore. Just end it. We're done.
No, Sky was like, I'm not going to be your friend.
Right, exactly what I'm saying. Right. We're not going to be your friend in secret. It's done. We're no longer going to be friends.
Right.
I think, and that's just the nature of human tendencies is that, we even had that where we have friends and we befriended certain people and people didn't like certain people that we befriended. And then all of a sudden, when they was being friendly with us, next thing you know, they was kind of standoffish with us too and I know it's because of the friends that we kept.
Right.
Because we always been the type that it don't matter. I don't care if you're black, blue. I don't care if you're an addict. I don't care if you're an alcoholic.
Whatever
I
your
don't care
past
what
is,
your past is. I don't care whatever problems you're going through. We're gonna be your friends. And I say this with certainty. I say this with
a sincere heart.
So not even a sincere heart. I say this with not boasting. I say this because we'll always consistently have been this way. Anybody in Bermuda that knows us can attest to this. That when we was in Bermuda, we had all different types of different friends that used to come to our house.
Right.
People that wouldn't even talk to each other any other time. But when they was at our house, they talked to each other.
Right.
So I know this for a fact that we were always the type that no matter who you was, no matter what you was, if we befriended you, we was your friend. And we didn't go and tell your secrets to other people. We didn't gossip to other people and everything like that.
And that's the
this
problem.
The first time,
people gossip
this
so
the
much.
first time we actually talking about this, even doing this like in public.
Right.
And we're talking about this in private, but not in public.
Right.
So excuse me. So I found that people, which put me in another kind of depression because when I'm down in my darkest, down in my deepest, thinking I have somebody that I can lean on. I didn't have as much as I thought I could lean on. But then I did have some friends that was really strong and helped me out. Had a couple that was just absolutely wonderful. Um, and the wife of the couple um, was working at a job. Now, so this is all going on. I've been arrested. I've been released. Had my court dates.
Right.
Um, then this person comes to me. She says, "Pedro, I work at this place. I know you're a good person. So look, I'm gonna go and tell them that they need somebody to work. So I'm gonna go recommend you." And I'm like, "You sure?" She's like, "Yeah, I have faith that you could do this." So I go to the interview because she had just started working there and they loved her. And I interviewed and I had to sell myself. And this is the first time I had to tell them, but I sat down and I said to them before we even started the interview, I said, "Look, this is a situation. It's going to come out in the newspaper, so I'm going to tell you now." And I told them everything. And they looked at me all weird. They did. They looked at me weird. It was a black guy and a white guy.
Right.
And they looked at me weird. And they said, "Okay." They said, "Well, look, we need you to sell this pen to us." So they gave me a pen. And I had to sell the pen to them. So I told them, "There's a big pen, da da da. You can write upside down, you can write sideways. It never runs out." All this, I just blew them away. I know I blew them away because I wasn't supposed to work I was supposed to work in the warehouse. But next thing you know, and see, this is where God put you in places that you would never think He'll put you.
God still tested
So
you.
here you are. Here you are. I always say God has a funny bone, because here I am. I just got arrested. I just got fired. I'm working for the bus, stealing from the bus. And now I'm about to get a job that I'm going to be selling candy and collecting money for the candy, bringing it back, logging in the checks, logging in the cash. And I'm going to be driving around with thousands and thousands of merchandise every day in the back of my truck. I'm like, "Well, God, you must have a reason for this." So I start working for the company, and I'm driving the truck, and everything's good. And I love the job, and I'm doing a good job. I'm learning my route. I'm learning the people. I'm getting comfortable and everything. But I just still felt, Tara was still away at the time, and I just still felt it was just something missing in my life. It was just something missing. Through all this whole time, by the way, it was a struggle back and forth with prayer and worship. And, people think sometimes you look at people, Facebook gives such a,
Social media period.
social media gives such a broad stroke of people think things are all right, but people are hurting on the inside, even on Facebook. Just because they're smiling in the picture doesn't mean that they wasn't just crying 5 minutes before or 5 minutes after. And I was still in a bad place at that time. I was in a better place, but I was still not completely there. And then then what happened? So then I get this job and everything's good. And then one day I wake up and I say, "You know what? I need something different in my life. I need to just, do something different." And I found out that we can come to the UK. So I was like, this sounds like a plan. So I literally put in my month's notice and sold all my stuff that I had in Bermuda and bought a ticket, a one-way ticket. Actually, I bought a round-trip ticket, and I didn't buy. Only reason I bought the round-trip ticket is because I wasn't sure. I was still in doubt that this is what God wanted for us. So I was
Wanted us
like,
to make
"Well,
that
you
move,
know
yeah.
what? If I need to come back, I can come back." So I bought a round-trip ticket. It was only like $50 or $100 more. So I bought a round-trip ticket, and I got on the plane. I talked to a person over here in the UK, and I bought an Airbnb for a month, and I moved to the UK just like that. I know people think all the time that I moved to the UK to get away from Bermuda or run away from my whatever in Bermuda, and that is not true.
Definitely not true.
I think sometimes when we do move, we are running from something. So I'm not gonna say I was completely not running. I'm not gonna lie and say I wasn't running, But that wasn't the reason why I left. I left because I just got tired of the stares and the whispers and the
Right.
I could just feel the difference that people treated me because of what I have done. Um, I know they made a mistake. I know that what I did was wrong. I know what I did was not right. Um, but I'm still the same Pedro. I'm still the same person. I ain't changed in any way. I'm not changed because I made that mistake. And I knew Todd didn't want to come back to Bermuda because it was just too much stress on us. And it was really putting a strain on our marriage financially and mentally and physically because it
Just
was,
everything.
yeah, because I'm working like 3 jobs and I still can't make ends meet and it's just frustrating. So I said, well, let's go to UK. So I came to UK in, again, July. Was it July again? No, April. I
April,
came in
yeah.
July, in April this time. Came in April and like I said, stayed in Airbnb and found, didn't have a job yet, but I found a place. Then I found a place and moved into the place. And then like a month later, you moved in with me in August,
Yeah.
right? Then thank God for Penny Steed, um, who recently passed away few years ago, unfortunately. But because of her, um, she was in the church in Huddersfield. She said, hey, come over to my church, visit my church. So I rented a car and I went over to her church and um, went to see her. And while I was there, um, I met a couple. Well, I didn't meet the couple. I met the wife.
Right.
And the pastor said, what do you do? And I said, I do this and I do that. He was like, oh, you should talk to so-and-so. And I was like, okay. And so her name was Sarah, actually. And I said, okay, nice. We talked and nice to meet you. And she was like, I'm going to talk to my husband and, because he works in the hospital, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, all right, cool. Now, this guy, Ratcliffe, he never even knew me from Adam. He then went to his boss and talked to his boss and got me an interview. He's never met me before. See how God works? God works in such a mysterious way.
You definitely do.
They never met me before, never even knew of me. Has not met me yet because he had been at work the first couple of weeks I went to church. So he's never. So he's going to base all on his wife. Word. And so, I go interview again. I sell myself and I get the job. And I put a post on, which is actually ironic because just the other day I saw it on Facebook. You know how you put those pictures up, and then like years later it's like memories.
All right.
And I showed Tara, and the memory popped up of me putting a picture of my ID and myself saying, thank God has blessed me with a job. The reason why I bring that up is because I guess somebody saw that, and next thing you know, somebody anonymously, who I would love to know because I'm not even.
And you may not never know.
You know the thing.
You may not never
If
find
the
out.
person knows this person, I don't know. If you know I just want to know. I don't even want to know why. I don't even bother me. It's what it is. People, tendencies, people's,
It happens. Though.
demeanor, it happens, right? Well, they sent the whole detailed letter to my job, and they said, "Oh, he's absconded. He's wanted by the police. Da 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 da. He should not be working. He's wanted. He needs to. He's not in the UK legally. This and that, all anonymously. What you did not know was that I had already told my boss. She didn't tell HR though, but I had already told the manager that I'd interviewed with. And when I told her so, she said, well, that doesn't affect you drawing bloods. So, which is weird. And I forgot to tell you going back just a minute, when I got deported to Bermuda and I got sent into the office, it was very nerve-wracking because I didn't know what to expect.
Right.
And when I went into the office, the custom agent took me in the room, sat me down, and put a blank piece of paper in front of my face. I'm like, why did he give me a blank piece of paper? And he said, what have you, done? I told him everything I've done. And he said, well, guess what? He said, now you're in Bermuda, and this is what your life is. It's a blank piece of paper. It's what you make it. So I was like, wow, cool, And so then going forward again, she kind of gave me the same answer. It's a blank piece of paper. Going forward, this is what what you have to do. So I didn't lose my job, God, thankfully, and I was able to better myself and do different things work wise.
Yep.
I learned how to cannulate or vent flow, whatever you want to call it. I learned how to do pots. I learned how to do different things working in A&E, and God bless me. And the weird thing is that I think through all of the whole process of my life, through the accident, through the deportation, through me getting in trouble with the law, through me getting arrested, me being put in prison for months when I was in immigration, you
That
know,
was hard.
yeah, but I think it's all the process that God had put me through
Right.
to make me to what I am now. Because now that since I've been in the UK, we've been what 4.5 years.
Yeah.
I'm really at peace with myself and the person that I've become, the person that I am. I still have faults. I
We
still
all
have
do.
yeah.
We
We all
all
have
do.
faults and issues. I still sin. I'm not sinless. I'm not perfect.
Right.
We still have issues
Hmm.
in our marriage, not like we had before. And I don't mean it in a bad way. I think in a marriage you always have issues because you and I are two different
Well,
people.
y'all have different things that you can work
Right.
on to
Right.
improve.
You're different, I'm different, and we
Right.
have to it's hard work. Every day we have to work on our marriage. Every
Yeah.
day. With the grace of God, we have to work on it. And then we have kids added things, so now we're working with the kids and
Right.
things like that. So pretty much yeah, so um that's pretty much it with the testimony with this if everything just, I just want to thank God that through it all, through everything that's happened in our marriage
God
and
is still
everything that's
blessing
happened,
us.
God is still blessing us. God is
Hmm.
still, even when I did wrong, He still gave me another job. He gave
Hmm.
me another chance. Even when things looked bad, He gave me another chance. Even when things looked down and out, He gave me another chance.
Hmm.
God always has been there for me in everything that I've done, everything that I've been, everything that I've touched, good or bad.
Right.
He's always been there. And, I just think that there's a lot of people out there that something happens to them bad or wrong, and they just think, oh, I can't go on living, or I can't go on, or I can't show my face anymore because this and that, this and, XYZ or
Right.
whatever you want to call it. But, is what life is what you make of it. And so now when I get a job, I tell them ahead of time, this is what happened. Mainly because, also too, because it was on my DBS. It's something they use out here for jobs. So it didn't show up for the first couple of years. But ever since when that person, whoever did that, the NHS kept, which is the hospital, they kept checking my DBS like religiously, like
All the
crazy,
time.
all the time. Yeah, like twice, 2, 3 times a week, they was checking my DBS, checking my DBS, because you can go on and look, and I'll go on and look, and they always had to check. They was check, check, check. I was like, my goodness, how many times you gonna check this thing? But anyway, um, uh, that's fine. It finally showed up on my DBS, so now I make sure I tell people. And I didn't tell people in the beginning. Well, I did tell. I actually let me rephrase that. I did tell people. It just didn't show up on my DBS.
Right.
So I did still tell people what had happened because I didn't want it to just pop up and then they'd be like, "Oh, how come you didn't tell us?"
Right.
So I was always been upfront about what I've done
Oh,
wrong
wait a minute.
or
And
thing.
that's the one thing I always loved about you, Pedro. And no matter what it, good or bad, you're gonna be like, look, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You always upfront, and that's what I always have loved about you. And I never at one point through all this that was going on was gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna turn my back on you. You know, I'm done. You know, I let you see the kids, or I bring the kids to you whenever. You know, I never had that thought in my mind of separating or being divorced from you, because everything we had went through. You know what I mean?
I know.
And yeah, because I believed in who you are as a man, as a father, as a person. Period. You know, we all, trust me. Everyone have a story, but not everybody gonna share it. So it's just the fact of we prayed about it and we said, we're gonna share our story with whoever that may be going through something similar or what we have went through.
And this is just a part because we have so much more to tell. That's why I guess why you said part one, huh?
Yeah, but I'm just more saying in the sense of, people don't realize when they get married, when they say through better or worse, a lot of people only want the better. They never want the worse.
True.
So when they go through the worst, they ready to run. They ready to hit the heels and be like, you know what, I can't deal with it. I'm not gonna deal with it. It's too shameful, oh, it's too bad. I don't want people looking at me this way or that way, or people gonna be turning their heads at you. But guess what? People gonna turn their heads at you no matter what you're doing.
True.
So, and at this point, I know it ain't nothing but God that's leading us.
Oh,
So.
it's definitely. Since then the pandemic hit, and it really helped us in our marriage and helped us to better ourselves. And then you went on BBC,
Yeah.
and that helped. And then you've been blessed to meet other people in London and up here that
Yeah.
has helped you with your music, and
Yeah.
it allowed us to even actually all of that has allowed us to get to this platform, to have this studio that we have,
Yeah.
to be able to do this program today and
Yeah.
other programs, and to perform and
Whatever
hopefully
God has
minister.
in the
Yep,
future. Yeah.
yep, minister to somebody.
With that being said, if you want to donate to our ministry,
I forgot about that.
it's right. It's right at the bottom of the screen there with the # Goddard's Land or Cash App. Thank you.
I wasn't gonna say nothing. I was like, they can just read. I didn't want to be like
But
reacting.
it's just a donation
I know, for the ministry,
for the ministry.
because you do want to do a single, and
Yeah, I do
You
want
do
to
wanna-
at some point
yeah.
do a single and down
and
the
that
road
does
do an
cost
album.
money.
And it costs moolah.
Yeah, yeah. And God has blessed us so far, so I'm sure it will happen at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Talking to existence, as you say.
Talking to this
There you
ain't
go.
nothing too big for
That's
God.
that Southern Baptist thing.
Yeah.
Claim it
Claim
by the
it.
blood of Jesus.
By the blood.
All right. So pretty much that was just my testimony. Just a Child always wanted me to say my story,
Well, our testimony. Cause
our testimony.
we
But
went
the
through it
thing is
together.
that that's just one part of our testimony. There's another part of our testimony that we will get to at one point
Not
in the
sure.
future.
Not sure yet when.
Yeah, not sure yet when
Part
but we
2
will.
coming.
Yeah, when part 2 is coming.
We're gonna
We're
pray
not-
about it.
We're not gonna do part 2 now. We're gonna do part 2 another week, not next week, or
Whenever God tell us to.
yeah, whenever that time comes, we will do part 2.
Yeah.
Because part 2 is a little bit more in depth in our relationship and deeper, and
Yeah.
yeah, so we'll definitely we'll do that.
Yeah.
But then more than anything, I just wanted to just encourage people
Yeah.
that no matter what happens in your life, you make mistakes.
We all do.
God forgives us.
Mm-hmm.
God helps us. God is there for us. And I was thinking today, and for some reason, I've been watching different programs this weekend, and Psalms 23 popped into my head, where it's the Lord's Prayer, and I just sat and looked it up. Well, I didn't look it up, just looked it up to read it.
Right.
And as I was reading, I was just like, man, this is me right here. This is everything that in my life, in the past 47 years of my life, that I've been through, where, the Lord is my shepherd. It says I should not want. Or it says he's making me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, do I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod, thy cast, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemy. I got all
anointed my head with oil.
Yeah, God anointed my head with oil.
Cup
My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
Forever.
So I know that no matter what, I kind of got lost a little bit in my brain, but sorry.
I got you.
That to all of that, God promised right there is to say that even through all the things I've been through, been in the table with my enemies. And I know I've sat at the table with my enemies. I know I've sat at the table with people that smile in my face and talk behind my back, which is fine with me.
Definitely.
That doesn't bother me at all. I know that he's making me to lie down and be still. I know that he has provided for us through all the issues, all the problems, all the faults that I've done. God has always still provided for us. He's always made sure that everything is taken care of. And like I say to my kids and to my wife, we got a house over our head, we got food on the table, and we got each other. And we have God, number one.
That's
right. As long as we have those things, I'm happy. If we have nothing else, I'm happy. And pretty much that's it.
Yeah. I basically I'm just so glad God, what we've been through didn't break us to the point where we not together, where we divorced, and you know what I'm saying? It's so much that could have happened. And when you look back on it, and and amazingly how some people probably wanted us to be divorced, and even through some people knew some things that we went through, but the way I think it is, ain't nothing really a secret. You know.
Well, I know that people know, like people knew some of the things that happened to me in the past, but they just don't mention it
Right.
because people don't like to talk about things that happen. I believe that
People like to
some.
dismiss things and just be like, you know what?
I don't really think they dismiss.
I
I
said
think
some
people.
people. I
I
said
think
some
people
people.
like to talk about. People don't like to talk about things because they think that people are gonna look at you a weird way, a wrong way.
Right.
And I'll be honest, I really don't care. Um,
That's why we're
I've been
doing this,
part. I've
because
been
it's not
part.
about what people think. It's about who we can help.
Yeah, I've been a part of a show on Sabbath afternoons and
Talking points.
talking points, talking point,
Talking point. Sorry.
and about a month or two ago we had a start. I can't remember exactly, and I was just very blunt about my answer, and I, as a friend, if you're my friend, you're my friend for life. If you're not my friend, then step. I don't have time for wishy-washy, backstabbing people.
Right.
I don't have time for people that are gonna tell me they think I need to hear. I want somebody that's gonna tell me what I need to hear, not what I think I need to hear. So, but yeah, like I said, since we've been here, God has really blessed us.
He's
He's
opened up
blessed
a lot of
He
doors.
blessed your music ministry,
Yeah.
and
And
hopefully He'll
still
bless us.
is.
And He still is, and hopefully be blessed a little bit more. And I've been blessed because I've been able to go out of my comfort zone, which is I do love to talk, but I like to talk amongst my friends, not to people, not to like the public. And like I said, I'm part of a show on radio, London, American Adventist Radio London, and it allows me to give my views on certain things and hear great stories and great trials and tribulations of other people, which has been very uplifting for myself and something I think God wanted me to have in my life because I was in a place, again, where I was struggling spiritually and struggling mentally with God and just trying to get myself, because no matter what you do, no matter what you say, we all go through those struggles every now and then.
Yeah.
Where we just, is God there? Is He helping me? And, is He, it was, yeah. So I think that it came at the right time, and that came by chance too.
Yep.
Just going to a place, and next thing you know, I've been asked. So I appreciate that opportunity.
Yep.
And Pastor Ray Patrick for allowing that to happen.
Yep.
And then, just like I said, just keep praying, keep thanking the God, keep thanking God for everything that we have in life.
Right.
What you have in life. I always tell folks, you know what? There's somebody always out there worse than you.
Right.
There's somebody always out there that's got a more serious issue that you may not have. That you think your issue's bad, but there's somebody else that has a more serious issue than what you think.
Definitely.
There's somebody out there sicker than you. There's somebody out there struggling more than you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why Tara and myself have decided to do this program. Even if it's just one person listening, we just want to be able to touch that person or explain to that person that, or help that person, that there's no perfect world out there. There's no perfect person out there.
Right.
We're all flawed.
Mm-hmm.
We're all sinful. We all have our issues. We all have our defaults. Some people may not. Everybody thinks we're so perfect. Everybody thinks, oh, why they? Everybody's like, oh, how did they get this? How did they get that? God blesses us all differently in what we need and not what we want.
Right.
So I just want to thank God for that. And with that thing, real quick, I don't seem to see it on Facebook.
What?
The program.
It's there.
Okay. I don't know why. It went away. Like.
Did you go to? Yeah. Did you go to my channel?
I was trying to.
Just hit my name in there, and it should pop up.
No, see? Oh. I said, okay, that's why. Yeah.
It's there.
That's that?
No, that's the other one. Keep going, strolling up. Keep strolling up. Oh, well, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why. But it didn't pop up for some reason. But anyway, that's beyond the point. Um,
Well, we at the end of it now, so
did you have anything else that you wanted to say?
I just want to thank God for letting us get to this point in our life where we're able to share and we're able to, share our life experiences with other people. And that's it. And God giving us
And
the confidence and the boldness to do it.
and also we go. Also, we can not be so serious every time. Every time we talk, it's not gonna be serious
Yeah,
because we like to banter with each other and have fun and talk and
definitely.
yeah. And so I don't want to think everybody think that we're always gonna be serious.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't want everybody to think that because that's not the case.
Mhm. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
So,
there.
but no, it's not that because nobody's commented. That's why I was trying to see if anybody was going to
Yeah.
comment. And that's why I was trying to find.
Mm.
Yeah. So I don't know why, but it don't matter. It's not showing up on mine, but that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But okay, but we can go ahead and end. And yeah.
Let's end on a lighter note.
Okay, let's end on a
So
lighter note.
yeah, like, do you see any comments?
No.
Uh,
It said something about it's been blocked or something.
that's all I see.
I don't know why.
I was saying it went away.
I don't know.
Facebook and their craziness. What exactly did we say wrong? We didn't play no music.
I know it's the weirdest thing.
So we're doing it live, but that don't even mean that people.
Right.
I don't even think people are seeing it on Facebook right now.
That's probably why.
All right, folks. Then in that issue, then we will then just end it, and we'll try to come back next week, and we'll see you next week, same time, 7:00,
Same place.
same place. Hopefully, we'll get this sorted out.
Yeah.
Just want to pray it out, and
Yeah.
then, all right.
All right, Lord, thank you, Lord, for this time for us to share our testimony with the world. I'm asking you, God, to whoever listens to this, Lord, help them to be blessed and help. Maybe we helping someone through their situation. I'm asking you, God, to continue to be with us as we continue to grow in Christ. Thank you, Lord, for everyone that may have watched or may watch this later, Lord. I pray in your name. Amen.
Amen. Bye, guys. Thank you so
Bye.
much for joining us. Sorry about the mishap. We will try to sort it out and figure it out and
See
get
what's
back
going on with
Yeah.
it. Oh,
Facebook, they always trying to block everything. Or maybe somebody reported that they didn't like what they saw. I don't know. Who
I don't
knows?
know. You never know.
Yeah, who knows? But anyway, yeah. Take care of yourself. Have a great week.
All right.
And
Blessings to you all.
blessings. We'll see you next week.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.